Hello and Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to today's module, which is going to be on scalars and vectors, which are really important mathematical tools used in physics in order to describe various kinds of quantities. This is a very common subject that is often tested within both IGCSE and O levels. And it is, what you basically need to know at the end of the day is what is the difference between a scalar and a vector. You're going to be constantly asked about that in one way or another in MCQs. You need to be able to define what a scalar is and what a vector is. You need to know what kind of common quantities are scalars and what kinds are vectors. This is very important. And most importantly of all, once you have all the ABCs down, you need to know how to actually add and subtract scalars and vectors from each other. So let's kind of make sense of, what a scalar and what a vector is. You have, for example, a batsman, and you can see that this batsman is whacking the ball in three different ways, and so that this batsman over here is whacking the ball like that. This one is whacking in this direction. This one is whacking in that direction. So we can talk sabse pehle about with how much force this batsman is hitting the ball. This batsman might be hitting the ball with 100 newtons. This one might be hitting the ball with 50 newtons. This one might be hitting the ball with just 30 newtons. So now, if we're just interested in knowing kitne zor se usne ball ko mara hai, if we're just interested in knowing that bit, then then we're talking about quantities that are called scalars. We're just interested in the number, the 100 and the 50 and the 30 newtons. However, if I ask you, okay, also tell me in what direction he hit the ball. You're not only interested in how intensely he hit it, you're also interested in what direction he hit it. Then you're looking into something that we call vectors, and we'll just jump into both quantities in more detail. Let's put it another way, right? Suppose we say Babar, who is this person, hit the ball really fast. For example, it went at like 50 meters per second into the sky. Now, if I just tell you that it went at 50 meters per second, then, this is a good amount of information. I now know that the ball is going really fast. This sort of information, just this amount, is called a scalar quantity, जिसमें आपको सिर्फ number पता होता है और unit पता होता है अगर unit हो. However, if I tell you that Babar hit the ball really fast, straight up, then I haven't just told you the number. Then I've told you something else. I've told you the direction in which that ball is going to. Now we've jumped into what is called a vector quantity. Now let's formally understand what the definition of a scalar or a vector quantity is. A scalar is a quantity that has just a magnitude without a direction. For example, temperature, speed, time, density, volume. This is a very scary word for most people. What does magnitude mean? Magnitude means nothing difficult. It just means what is the number, amount kitne. For example, we talk about, money, right? I tell you 10 rupees. The magnitude is 10. The unit is rupees. That's it. You always need to mention the unit because that tells you what are you talking about. Are you talking about money? Are you talking about kgs? Are you talking about speed? It's important to mention the unit. That tells you what kind of quantity are you talking about. Are you talking about temperature, density, volume, etc., so on and so forth. But what makes a scalar? A scalar is the fact that you've just mentioned the magnitude. And that is enough to describe the quantity. So, if I tell you that the temperature of a room is 20 degrees Celsius, that's enough. I don't need to tell you that it's 20 degrees Celsius towards the left, 20 degrees Celsius towards the right. That doesn't make any sense. So, these are examples of scalar quantities, जिसमें आपको सिर्फ number और unit देने की ज़रूरत होती है. Speed, for example, is a scalar quantity because if I tell you that the car is traveling at 50 meters per second, that tells you how fast the car is going. So this is speed. Speed is, for example, a scalar quantity, and we will talk about its twin, velocity, which is a vector quantity, later. But never confuse them. Speed is a scalar quantity. Just mentioning the magnitude is enough. अब हम vector quantity पे आते हैं. For example, we talk about let's say force, right? We were talking about the ball earlier. So if I hit the ball 50 newtons this way, then this is a vector quantity I'm talking about. Why? Because not only do I need to tell you how hard I hit the ball, लेकिन I also need to tell you in what direction I hit the ball, which is towards the left. It could have been this way. I could have hit the ball 50 newtons upwards. That would be also really important to keep track of. In what direction am I hitting the ball? So force is, for example, a vector quantity, and so is velocity. अब velocity क्या होती है? Velocity होती है जब आप जो आपकी रफ्तार है, जो आपका how fast you are moving in a certain direction. For example, if I say 20 meters per second in this direction, not only have I now told you how fast it's going, but I've also told you in what direction are you going. If I tell you both how fast I am going and in what direction I'm going, if I give you both these pieces of information, I have told you the velocity. So what is the definition of a vector? A vector is a quantity that has both magnitude, notice this 50, notice this 50, notice this 20, has a magnitude and also has a direction. Notice all these arrows. If you have both of these things, then you are a vector quantity. If you only have a number and no direction, you are a scalar quantity.